Hello, thank you for tuning into the Diaspora panel. This is the Voice of the Diaspora, where we discuss international politics and Nigerian politics. I have with me, as always, Mr. Ola Lawal, who is based in Calgary, Canada. Mr. Lawal, you are welcome to today's meeting.
Thank you for having me this morning.
I also have my very, very good friend, a politician of note, Mr. Olaitna Adedigba. Olaitna, you are also welcome.
Yes, my pleasure being here this afternoon.
We are here today to discuss about Nigerian politics as always. Before we go into our discussion, I just want to say, if you are one of our viewers and you have not subscribed, please hit that subscription button. It is free of charge. It only means that anytime we do the next video, you'll be one of the first people to know about it. So today, we want to discuss something that is going on in Nigerian politics. It looks like some politicians, especially from the northern part of Nigeria, are clandestinely, calling for the return of soldiers. They want military takeover. And sometimes this week or sometime last week, there was a national conference. There was a national conference on strengthening democracy in Nigeria, organized, this was done in Abuja. Okay, it was organized by the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development Center, LSD, the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, and the Westminster Foundation for Democracy, WFD. They all put this meeting conference together and invited Nigerian politicians. And during this conference, a northern politician, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, a former vice president, said a few things that made me wondering what his objective is. And I'm going to read from my screen. I'm going to show you what Atiku said. And I want you to interpret for me what it means. I'm going to start with you, Shuko. I'm going to read what he said, and I want you to tell me what you make of what he said. So let me read first. So this is what Atiku said. The first thing he said was that we really are at a crossroad in this democratic experiment. We are at a crossroad. We either decide we want to be a democratic or be a democracy, or we decide to abandon it. Let me read that again. We either decide we want to be democratic or we decide to abandon it. Shukwa, what does that mean?
Well, thank you very much. I think, if I can interpret this, what Atiku Abubakar is indirectly saying is that we either have his understanding of what democracy is, or we totally veer off course, and we probably go back to non-democratic rule. I think if most Nigerians, look back at our history, non-democratic rule is a signal, a dog whistle for going back to a military regime. That is, I would say, grossly irresponsible, for someone of Atiku's stature who has benefited tremendously, I would say, from Nigeria's democratic process, no matter how challenging it has been, to make statements of that nature. And I'd like to point to two important things. The first thing is that if he is saying that what we have right now is not working, I think it is also important to say he is part of the reason why we are where we are today. If we look at one of the political parties, the PDP, Atiku Abubakar has, over the last two elections, come up as the candidate from the party. And we all know from the last election that was conducted in 2023 that his candidacy was basically what destroyed PDP's chances. Will he say that was democracy? I think, if we, take it to that lens. So I think what we see clearly is a scenario where Atiku Abubakar is crying foul because he has lost out, this time around. I think it's important to say that while our democratic process does have its challenges, I do not agree that it should be abandoned.
Thank you very much. Lighton, I'm coming to you next, okay? So let me read what Atiku said again, okay? Let me read what he said again. And I want you to tell me what you make out of it. So now I'm reading here, I'm going to show you what I'm reading here. So if you look here, look at this paragraph, okay? Look at this paragraph. It says, do we really want to fight democracy? Do we really want to fight for democracy? If we don't, we all go back to our homes. Okay. What does that mean? What does it mean?
What it means is, do we want democracy? Do we want to sustain democracy? And in saying this is a call for insurrection, right? For people who care to listen, a lot of people have been. I mean, if I might critique a statement that we want to fight for democracy, or we want to go back to our own, this is impregnated with meanings. You want to fight for democracy, and you want to stand for it. You'll be fighting. You fought for democracy from the military rule, right? And for you now to sustain democracy, you have to sustain it. Who is he fighting with? This is indirectly. I mean, we call this in strategic management a system of invitee. You are inviting the military to take over, right? So they now push everything to Amechi to cement their intention. Then Amechi now said, if you think that you can resume power from Tinubu, then you are not serious. You grab it, you fight for it. Who are you fighting with, for God's sake? Right. These are the things. Then it later said when PDP discovered that they are not taking it lightly, right? Because they brought a lot of machinery from outside the country. They wanted, at all costs, they wanted Jonathan to leave. They planned everything. They introduced a lot of things, bringing people from Sahel, bringing, destroying the people every day, every night. They continue doing all this stuff. They're making it ungovernable. But they said it. So the same thing these people they are insinuating, right? They want to make it ungovernable for him, for Tinubu. The last straw will be inviting the military. And thank God, majority of the military in the Fulani, the hierarchy in Fulani, who are Fulani, they be eased out. So I think the guy, the Tinubu too, they know Tinubu too. It's not a pushover, right? In teaching now Machiavellian philosophy and his teaching. Thank you.
Okay, like that. So Shuko, let's go to what Malam El-Rufai, what he said, and I want you to tell me what you make of it, because it looked like these people are clandestinely, surreptitiously inviting the military to take over. Look at what El-Rufai said. He said, this is very dangerous, and I believe every voice must rise to fight for this democracy. For those of us in our 60s, we all lived half our lives under military rule. We all lived half of our lives under military rule. We know what it is, and we don't want a military rule. But, you see that? We don't want a military rule, but we also don't want civilians behaving like the military, the Babangida and suits. So this is a national emergency. So he is calling on some people in the military to take over. That is what he's doing. And this is treasonable. This is treasonable. It's baiting the military. It's baiting them. And this is treasonable. And the government must stop being nice. The federal government must stop being nice. People like this should be asked to explain. Because the North, after Buhari's 8 years, they knew that power has shifted to the South. And the South is going to be there whether they like it or not for 8 years. And because this is the first time somebody is coming to power that was not supported by the North. This is the first time we have a leader in Nigeria who the North did not anoint. Somebody who came to power by himself and by the power of God. And they have seen that everything he's doing is for Nigeria, not for the North. All the other leaders, everything they do is for the North. This man is doing everything for Nigeria. It's time to restructure. And you can see that they are blocking him everywhere, including they block the tax. So everything he's doing, they are blocking it. When he wanted to remove local government, they tried to block him. When he wanted to do the tax system, they tried to block him. So now that they have seen that he's adamant is going to restructure Nigeria, they are surreptitiously calling for the ministry to call. So, Shupo, in your own view, do you think this gentleman is supposed to be left alone just to go about, doing what he's doing?
So I won't go as far as calling him a gentleman, actually. But I think, again, if they are truly leaders, these types of unwarranted, whistles should not be coming from someone of El-Rufai's stature. Actually, they should be doing the opposite. They should be calling for calm. They should be calling for people to engage the democratic process and to stay involved and connected as the only way, to improve the democratic process. There is no democracy that doesn't have its own challenges. What I see here, actually, two things is, one, these people are crying foul because whatever it is that is happening now does not seem to favor them personally. Why are we always talking about the North, the North, the North? Is the North the only part of Nigeria? When have we ever had a scenario where Southern leaders are crying and saying this doesn't favor the South? But I can't remember any time in recent memory when that has happened. It is always the North, always the North. So I think they should be doing the opposite, which is to be encouraging people to stay calm, but to continue to remain engaged with the democratic process. I think actually this should not go just like that. I think security agencies should lean in and actually, at the minimum, get them to actually clarify it is what exactly they mean. Because failure to do that will do nothing more but embolden people like that, and the next time they would actually go another step further. So for me, I think this is a call out to security agencies to look very deeply into this, so that this will become a good example for others who may be thinking, but who are not yet bold enough to come forth.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Lighton, what's your view? What's your view about this?
Yeah, my view is the opposition, the people are the people who are crying foul now,
Mm.
they are former member of APC. If they are in the cabinet of Tinubu, if, for example, El-Rufai is in the cabinet of Tinubu, will we be crying like this? For God's sake, Amechi was in the cabinet of Buhari. They were doing the road from here to the Niger Republic.
Mm.
The railroad, they are borrowing Niger Republic money. No railroad in Nigeria. No enough railroad in Nigeria. No, these are the things. These people, they are all selfish. They are not doing all these things for the interest of the people. They are doing it for their own interest. The moment the bottle was removed from the mouth of El-Rufai, it started crying foul. For God's sake, they don't have the interest of the people at the back of their mind. Amishi is now calling for you grab it, you snatch it, you run away with it, right? And you should be ready to everybody come 2027. You should lay down your life for who?
Mm.
For you, these people they don't have anything to offer people but themselves. How many times have they said, okay, from the road to our house, let them improve it? The children, how many people are going to school? The northern state, how many people are not in school? How many people, let them, these social services, intervention problem services, give to
Mm.
those people who are not working. All these things, they don't talk about it. They are just talking about power, 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 power. You see what I'm talking about? These are the people, right, who have been there at the end of affairs in the last since the independence. I mean, since 1999.
Mm.
So all of them, they are just crying for where there is no power. No doubt about it. Tinubu, Tinubu is not a man to be pushed like the way you push Jonathan or anybody, all this former head of the Buhari. But Tinubu stood his ground. He said, no doubt he's running a one-man show. The way he
Mm.
said, no going back on the tax stuff, the first subsidy. But he's finding his way. It's for the interest of the people. It's for the interest of the country. No country in the world, not even in African countries, everywhere is fully automated. We want to do tax. We want everybody. Censor. We want everything to be in league with the developing nation. Where
Okay.
everything is working well, right? But somebody
Can I say, can I add to
Mm.
what you just
want
said
to
very
drag,
quickly?
you want to keep dragging the country back. Eh? So go ahead, Shupo.
Yeah, I think from what you just said, I think if we look at what Obi said, we can actually see that Peter Obi is probably maturing more into an elder statesman. And what did he say? He said, look, I'm not interested in power just for the sake of power.
Mm.
This is, just getting power is not the issue.
Mm.
The issue is, how do we move forward as a nation? How do we develop? How do we increase, our GDP? How do we get more people out of poverty? That's the issue, not just getting power.
Okay, so let me go into our final thoughts for today. So, Shupo, I'm going to, ask you first. Okay. Now, we saw about in the last week, some people were pushing Sharia law into the Southwest. The Southwest has been a very secular part of the country where you have families. In a family, you will have Christians, you will have Muslims, you have traditionalists. Everybody lives together, everybody eats together. When it's Christmas time, the Muslim will join the Christian. When it's Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Malu, the Christian will join the Muslim. And when it's time to go to the Osun shrine, everybody will go. When it's time for Egungun, Egungun will go around, people will give them money. In the Southwest, there's no issue. Now we see some people coming together and they said that they want to start a Sharia court in the Southwest. And people were kicking against it. And surprisingly, very, very surprisingly, a letter came from the office of the Sultan of Sokoto imploring the Southwesterner, including the kings, to allow Sharia law to take place. And I can only see What I can only, conjecture this to be is that, that in about around 1965, we have a situation whereby the Southwest when the Southwest went on fire. When they were, remember the Wild Wild West, when there was
Yes.
war between, wait here. The Southwest went wild, So, and then that was what triggered the coup of 1967. Because as long as the Southwest is in chaos, the whole country will be in, because right now, the only stable part of Nigeria now is the Southwest. There is killing in the Northwest. There is killing in the Northeast. There is killing in the North Central. There's killing in the Southeast. In the South, there's a lot of bunkering and killings going on there. The Southwest is the only part that is stabilizing the whole country. So is the Sultan trying to wreak havoc and create chaos in the Southwest as a prelude to the military taking over the whole country? Shukwa, what do you think?
I think two important things that we need to take from this letter, which, by the way, I would say is quite very arrogant for the Sultan to abrogate to himself such powers. I think there is, the letter clearly shows that there is an effort to destabilize the Southwest. Why would people be calling for Sharia law when there are indigenous religious people, there are Christians in the same society? I think if anybody ought to speak to the issue of Sharia in the Southwest, it should come from the chief imam. The Sultan of Sokoto, as maybe a recognized Islamic leader in Nigeria, can talk to Muslims. But I think the letter or the push for Sharia is an intent to try to cause chaos, to sow discord, and to destabilize the Southwest. And I'm really very thankful that the Yorubas came together. I think Yoruba people are of one voice, with respect to this issue, that there is no place for Islamic Sharia in Yoruba land. We've coexisted peacefully, with even families, having people who are traditionalists, people who are Christians, and people who are Muslims. And Sharia law is not practicable. I will encourage our viewers and anybody listening to us to actually go and watch the video issued by the chief imam of Yoruba land, because he took time to explain why Sharia is not an option for Yoruba land. Secondly, I find the letter quite very arrogant. If you look at it, it says the most recent of this is the development emanating from a state where the efforts of the Muslim community to set up an independent Sharia panel was met. Now listen to this: with unwarranted resistance.
Imagine.
What an arrogant, misinformed, and misguided statement to say. Again, he said, this is coming barely few weeks after the announcement on the inauguration of a Sharia panel in Oyo State generated unnecessary anxiety. So in other words, people don't have the right to voice out their displeasure or discontent, in a society where they're living. He doesn't live in the Southwest. He should leave this issue to Yorubas to resolve. Again, I don't believe he speaks for all Muslims in Nigeria. He can encourage and talk to Muslims on how to deal with this issue, which as a leader, I would expect him to tell Muslims to be calm, to be law-abiding, and to follow the law. That is the responsibility that we require for any leader, and he should not be given a pass on this.
Thank you. Lighton. Based on this, do you think the time is ripe to separate the Muslims in the north from the Muslims in the south? Because we've had this Islamic organization for many years. Why is it only the Sultan that is the head of the organization? Why? Why is it only the Sultan that will be leading this organization? Why can't we not have somebody to lead from the south? So, and if this is not going to happen, why don't we have a completely separate Muslim organization for the south, which can be led by maybe the Alafia of Oyo, or any, or the chief imam of Ilorin, for example, or the chief imam of Ogumosho. So, do you think this is the time now to separate? Because the Sultan is not the Yoruba king. He cannot be talking to Yoruba. You cannot be talking down on Yoruba. We are not his subjects. We are not Fulani. He should be talking to his Fulani people, not to Southerners. Do you think it's time to separate this Muslim banding of this Muslim together, North and South?
This is the hypocrisy we are talking about. Thank you for the question, DG. This is the part of the hypocrisy we are talking about. What moral rights as Sultan of Sokoto has to be dictating for the Yoruba Muslim? Who is he? How Muslims in Yoruba land should be governed? What is his concern? What is his business with that? But because they believe that they are all in all, they are most powerful, they are supreme, they are better off, they are known, they are second to none. That is the way they normally view themselves. Right? So the issue now is I thank the Yoruba Muslim what's it called? The man that
The chief
reported,
imam.
Chief Imam. He said, no, we don't want the Sharia. The governor said too, they don't want Sharia. But I listened to this guy from, sorry for this Emir of Iwo. He said nobody can dictate how nobody can say we should not. He said they want Sharia. That is why he said they want Sharia. Maybe in Iwo, he wants Sharia, but I know in Yoruba land we don't want Sharia. The issue is we don't realize it now. This is how the Fulani they came into the midst of the Hausas, right? And they brought religion, and Hausa like the Yorubas, they welcomed them with open arms. When they settled there, they discovered that after years, they now lord themselves over the Hausas. Where they cannot impose their thought, they extradite everybody there. They annex their land, they grab their land, then they kill everybody. I mean, a case in study, a case in question is the case of Samani Record, General Samani Record, in the Sagun Qatar. A lot of things are happening. In Benue State, they will come to your area, they will come to your domain, and they will kill everybody, and they settle there. Right? How many of them? But our leaders, Gumi said he knows all these people. Our leaders in the north, they allow them, the Muslims, to worsen the situation. Buhari continue arming them. Buhari said any for you to kill Fulani, for you to kill the northerner, for you if you kill anybody in the north, you are killing the northerners. So they thought that they can go away with anything they do. Where do they get money? The army are giving them AK-47. So invariably, we the Yorubas, we should think twice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Introduction of this Sharia, we should think twice. We should think twice. We should think twice. Thank you.
Thank you, Lighton. So just to close, Shukwa, I'm going to give you 1 minute, Justice Zinga. What do you think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should do to nip this in the bud? Because apparently these people, they are plotting, for a military role. They are baiting the military. They are baiting the military. They are clandestinely telling the military, this democracy is no good. Take over. What do you think the president should do now?
I think the president has a duty to maintain and faithfully execute the laws and to ensure that there is safety of life and property. These types of whistles should not be accepted. These people should be contacted by the security agencies to clarify specifically what it is that they're saying. And if they fall short of not doing what they're supposed to do as leaders, which is to not incite violence, then they are citizens. Any thing that should be done in that scenario, I think, should be done. I don't think the president should take this with face value, because if he does, they will do more. If you give them an inch, they will go for a mile.
Thank you. Lighter, what do you think the president should do? Do you think he should just let it go?
If you don't relieve issue, we are doomed. They said the listener always take his school from the one in the front. What I expect president to do is, we are not one. Nigeria is not one. Some people, we are moving forward. Some people will be dragging us backward. Let everybody go on their own ways. Right. After Tinubu, if God gives him another 4 years after 2007, 2027, what will be the fate of the Yorubas? What are we going to be doing? The answer will come there again. Everything, all the gain of democracy, all the automation, the tax system, everything will be reversed. Will be reversed, so to say. We are back to square zero. Let all these people who doesn't want development, let them stay on their own. Let people who want development, let them go with their development. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We've come to the end of today's deliberation. I want to say a big thank you to you, my very good brother, Mr. Lalawal from Calgary. Thank you so much for your contribution today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me this afternoon.
And Mr. Olaitan Didigba also from the United States, from the Trump country. Thank you so much for your contribution today.
Another can attack us.
So please, if you have not yet subscribed, please hit that button. It's free of charge. So it means that when we're going to make another video next week, you'll be one of the first people to know about it. Next week, by God's grace, we are going to be talking, what is the Fulani agenda for Nigeria? What are they plotting? What are they planning? That's going to be what we're going to discuss next week. God bless you and have a lovely day. Goodbye.